Hello and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name is Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all Aquarians that are out there. That's Aquarius or Aquarians who are Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. If you don't know where those placements are, I will be putting a free natal link in the description box down below, so go and check that out and you can find out for yourself where your Moon, Venus or Rising are if you don't know already. Because this is a general reading that I'm doing here today, it's not going to resonate with everybody. So you may want to check out the other videos that I've put up already. This is the second but last video. I'll be putting Pisces out hopefully tomorrow, and then I'll move back onto Taurus because it'll be Taurus season very soon. So the other videos are already up. I did try to do this video yesterday, but it cut out at about halfway through, about 26 minutes or something, so I tried to redo it again and then it cut out again, so I've had to completely clear my phone in order to be able to have enough space to be able to upload the full video. So the cards have been here and laid out and waiting, and like I said, I was halfway through the video, so there is another card from another deck which I used to kind of clarify other things. So I'm going to keep it exactly the same as it was, and I'm going to kind of try and do the same process as I did yesterday. So welcome to anybody who has come back to my channel. Thank you very much for coming here and for subscribing, to those who have subscribed already. For those of you who are new here, could you please subscribe to my channel? If you like my videos, thumbs them up, because that will really help get them out into the bigger YouTube world, which is how YouTube decides whether or not the videos are worth watching, by the amount of people who actually thumbs them up. So that's why all us YouTubers are saying all the time, please thumbs up our videos. So I haven't been making YouTube videos for that long, but I am a tarot reader with over 30 years experience. So I've kind of been pushed into doing this online as well now by my guides, who constantly try and get me to get messages out there, really, to people who may need them. So I'm going to start as I started yesterday. Before I do start, I will say welcome also to any cross watchers, any Aquarius cross watchers. Those of you who are in a relationship with an Aquarius, you want to have a relationship with Aquarius, or you've recently had a relationship with Aquarius and you would like to know what's happening in their lives. This reading may also actually be telling your story as well as theirs, or it could be more for yourself in full. Again, check out your own Moon, Venus and Rising sign, because you may find your message there as well, or even their message there if you know their Moon, Venus or Rising sign, cross watchers. So I will begin your reading now with the Arcana card, the Major Arcana card, because what I'm doing here is pulling a Major Arcana card to set the overall kind of scene of the reading, the flavour as I like to call it. And you have today, Aquarius, the Hermit, which is saying to me here that this is a time of you kind of, I mean, to do with the fact that we're all in this kind of hermit, kind of forced in many ways, isolation. But the Hermit also talks about looking within ourselves, trying to find our own answers, or answers to things that are bigger than ourselves in many ways, seeking the bigger answers to the bigger mysteries of life in some way. A Hermit is an energy of sometimes feeling as though you are on your own, even when you're in a crowd, or you know, you're with the most big crowd of friends that you are well acquainted with, you've known them for years, and you can suddenly get these feelings of like feeling that you're not able to join in the same way as you have done previously. That can be a Hermit kind of energy as well, because it's almost like you are feeling like there's a disconnection there. You're no longer kind of connecting in the same way with the same people. That can also be a Hermit energy, and a need to kind of draw back from things, draw back from people. But one of the biggest messages that I'm getting today, and I got yesterday as well with this card, is that this is kind of, for me, like a graduation energy. There's something about him being in this robe today and a kind of feeling of graduation. It could actually be on some level, Aquarius, for some of you out there, that you are graduating from something actually physically in life, like a university course that you've done or something like that. So you are actually going to go through this kind of higher level, higher education. Crossing this bridge here onto another level is kind of what it represents to me, is kind of leaving something in the past and moving on to something greater. But it can also represent on a more deeper level. It can represent graduation in the sense of going beyond your understanding of life in general, of how you've viewed life up to now compared to how you see life around you during this time, through this period of time, during this period of isolation and removing yourself from the people that you would normally spend a lot of time with, whether that's work colleagues or friends, family. All of us are kind of being put through that same experience. But for you, Aquarius, there's a bigger learning happening here as well at this time. So I would say that after all of this has taken place, because this is the overall energy, that you will have kind of gone up another level. You will be kind of seeing things from a different perspective, a different height, a different kind of way of viewing things. That's how I'm feeling it quite strongly. Raising up a level somehow, like in an elevator, kind of going up to the next floor. So we start the heart of the actual reading today with this card, which is never a nice card, the Nine of Swords. Whenever I see this card, I always think of like real mental anguish, real kind of putting yourself through the ringer, or feeling as though you yourself are being put through that ringer mentally, like just constant worry, stress, fear, strife, just really strong strong sense of feeling like you're never going to find your way out of this, that this is it, this is how it's always going to be. Like mentally we get stuck in these places of kind of almost like trapping ourselves in a way of thinking, the same thought producing the same results around us. This is kind of really what the Nine of Swords speaks to me about. And I always say to people in readings in the past, I've always said, when you get to this kind of, or when you feel as though you're in this energy, one of the best things to do is to light a candle, because it is symbolic of lighting a candle in the darkness. So you're kind of saying, I'm not going to let this darkness defeat me. And you can even, while you are actually lighting that candle, you can even kind of put your fears and your worries into that candle. And if you believe in something bigger than yourself, you can ask for help for that, and kind of, you know, for you to be able to have some clarity about the situation as well. But that's not for everybody. But lighting a candle itself is very symbolic of letting the light into the darkness. But it's covered today, your covering card here, with the Page of Pentacles. Now the page, or all pages, are a young energy. It's an energy that needs to be nurtured, looked after, taken care of. And each of these little seedlings for me is a potential for the future. That's what it speaks of here for me. The page kind of starts off as the younger energy, the child energy. It needs to be, like I said, looked after, nurtured, taken care of. If you think of it like a child itself, or like a plant, where you have to actually tend to it, care for it, give it water, otherwise it's going to die on you. It's the same kind of thing for this here. It's kind of planning for the future, if you like. And when you plan for your future, you have to feed it. You know, you have to kind of, you can't just expect it to happen just like that. You have to kind of, you know, mentally process it as well. Here he's holding this coin very close to his chest, and that to me is about your value. It's about what you value, why you value it, why is it dear to you. But because it's covering this energy here as well, I feel behind it there's a lot of worries and fears. This could actually be to do with a child. It could be some of you Aquarians out there are worrying about a child themselves and their future as well, because of the situation that we're in at this moment in time. But it could also be to do with you, some of you and your businesses as well, like maybe if you've started something recently fairly new. But it could also be saying that because you're in this energy here, this kind of despairing energy of kind of not seeing any way out of this, that you're kind of blocking this as well. Because this is your challenge, this is your covering energy. This is what you need to kind of break through. So I think it's kind of saying to me that you need to nurture, maybe even both sides of this. There's a real kind of difference in these cards as well. This is a very kind of fertile card. If you see here, it's very green, it's very lush. All the greenness kind of relates to nature and the heart chakra energy as well. Heart chakra being the green colour. And this is all very barren again. It's like nothing will grow here. It's just dark. It's stark. Like I say, harsh, hard soil. So it's like these seeds, if you're trying to plant these seeds, they're not going to plant in this kind of mentality, shall we say. Let's see what the rest of the reading is saying here. So in your head and what you're aware of at the moment, and this actually is upside down. I'll show it to you upside down. For me, this is about you being stuck in a situation of seeing two sides of something. And you feel as though you have to make a decision here. Whether or not you do have to make that decision is not really what this card is saying. It's more about the feeling that you feel that you have to. I think that's more the energy that I'm picking up from this card today. And it is because you are feeling, Aquarius, that you are seeing both sides of something. Like there's two sides of this story. And you're very aware of the two sides of this story. And being sort of caught in the middle of it. And I think that this has also got something to do with this energy here. And this energy here as well. There's a feeling of being trapped in something. There's a feeling of being caught up in something that you don't want to be caught up in. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be here either. But this is kind of leading to this in many ways, or this is leading to this. It's kind of a vicious cycle that's kind of creating both situations somehow. It's like they're really closely connected, but one kind of feeds into the other, and then the other one feeds back into that one. So you're kind of seesawing in some ways between two different energies, but kind of very similar energies at the same time, Aquarius. And yeah, for me today, this overall energy here is about you being able to see both sides of this. And like I say, being stuck in the middle and not necessarily knowing I don't know if it's because you don't know which side you want to take, or whether you feel as though you even have to take sides, but there's something about you being able to see both sides clearly. And maybe feeling like, you know, the kind of the peacemaker in some ways, but the peacemaker that nobody wants to take any notice of as well, Aquarius. That could have something to do with this energy here, of you in the middle. Like you may even have the solution here, but nobody's listening to you. So it moves into the energy of what is moving away, what's been around for a while, with the Three of Wands here. There is something that has been offered to you here. But in that offering, there is always a risk. For me, the Three of Wands is always about a risk. And it's another reason why I think this could be business related rather than anything else relationship wise. Even though a relationship can be something that you're being offered, I seem to feel more of a stronger energy about you having to use your creativity to discern in some ways as well. Maybe this is also what this is about, a kind of feeling of having to discern. But there's a risk element involved, because like this stream or this river behind is kind of meandering around all these corners. It's like you never know what is around that next corner. You never know what's coming next. And this is the energy that you've been in for a while, but it is moving away. And so you may also still be feeling unable to accept this offer. You don't know what this offer's going to bring you. So you may still be in that energy of having to make that decision. But again, there's two sides. There's something about two sides, and there's something about you having to kind of make... I don't know if it's about picking a side so much. There's something about picking a side, but being kind of hesitant, because you can see both sides of this, whatever this situation is. So the Three of Wands could also be related to this Hermit energy as well, in a way, because the Hermit is, like I was saying, it's kind of higher understanding of things. So there's also a possibility here that this is something to do with this higher understanding of something, because of the colour of his robe as well, and because he's offering a crown, and the colour purple kind of relates to the crown chakra. And underneath we have the Nine of Pentacles in your subconscious realm, the deeper kind of rooted under the surface energy, what you're maybe not so aware of, followed by the Hanged Man here, both up the right way. So the Nine of Pentacles, first of all, is telling me that you've come from a situation of having achieved things for yourself. These for me are all your achievements. These are the things, your abilities, things that you've put your time, your energy, your effort into. Your pentacle, in many ways, that has become this here. And there's a kind of real sense of abundance in this card. If you look at the card itself, it's very green, it's very lush, it's kind of got all these grapes on these vines here, growing up on these pillars here, and the kind of greenness and the water in the background. There's a real sense of stability in this card, a real sense of kind of confidence, a sense of achievement, just real sense of kind of having achieved something for yourself. Again, this could have something to do with the graduation that I was talking about as well, and that you've worked really hard for this. This is also saying not to kind of get caught up in how, not to get caught up in how far you think you still have to go, and to look at how far you've come, to be aware of what you've achieved for yourself, rather than kind of just looking into the future in some ways and thinking, oh, you know, how much more do I have to do before I get to kind of, you know, call myself successful. Because this is kind of, the 9 is the kind of pre-success energy card, I would say. You know, it's that almost there energy. You've almost got to the place that you want to be, but you haven't quite got there. But it is saying to me at the same time that, you know, you're in a good place beside all this that's going on, which is more in the head. Around you in the physical world, everything is good. Things are flourishing for you. But at the same time, you have this card here, which is an interesting kind of dichotomy of energies, because this is about sacrifice, giving things up and hanging in limbo. So you may be feeling at this moment in time that this is what you need to do, or even if you don't want to do it, maybe this is what this is also saying, is that, you know, you're having to do this, you're having to kind of just let things be at the moment. Maybe because of the situation that we're all finding ourselves in as well at the moment, Aquarius, there may be a need here for you to just let go and let things happen. Because this can also be a card, like I say, surrender, sacrifice, seeing things from a different perspective as well. And maybe just feeling as though you've been hanging there for so long as well, because it is in the kind of root energy, I like to see this as. So maybe you feel as though you're kind of caught in this doldrum energy as well, Aquarius, where nothing kind of feels to you as though it's changing, as though you've kind of reached this energy here, but nothing has shifted beyond that point for you. And you're just kind of permanently hanging in this place of limbo, not knowing what's coming next or what to do next even as well. But this energy, because it's a major arcana card as well, this energy is literally saying, you know, at times there is nothing we can do except kind of get out of our own way. And it's almost like, for me at the moment, the way that everything is on the planet, it's almost like the universe is saying that that's what we all need to do. We're all kind of being asked to get out of our own ways and let the universe kind of play out its new story. Because as Aquarians, of course, you have just had Saturn shift into your sign as well. Saturn being the planet of restriction, constriction, kind of slowly bringing things together. It's a slow, it kind of works through adversity. So although things may seem as though they're falling apart, at the same time they are kind of re-evaluating, shall we say. They're reconstructing. So as an Aquarius, having Saturn move into your first house, you're going to be feeling this Saturn energy of having to take your time, being held back on things that you may want to kind of rush ahead with. And it's interesting because you do actually have the energy of things moving quickly forward, moving in. This is what's moving in as this kind of energy. I wouldn't say moves away, but kind of maybe you become more understanding of it. Maybe you kind of see where it's coming from and why you're having to go through what you're having to go through in order to kind of take that next step up, that next level. Because I'm really seeing this as a kind of graduation. This whole robe today to me is kind of looking so much like a graduation robe. But like I say, that may not be necessarily just a physical thing. This could also be more to do with life itself. Viewing things from a higher perspective. And that's really what this is about. It's about seeing things from a different angle and taking time out. But as I was saying, you do have coming in to your reading the energy of the Chariot here, which is fast moving energy, Mars energy, Aries energy. Very fast, very action orientated, very doing energy, very come on, let's get this done energy. And today for me it's looking very similar in the sense of like you here in the center, in the middle, and these two here representing the horses, which can be the heart and the head needing to be balanced here as well. It's kind of the dual energy, the yin, the yang, the good, the evil. It's kind of that balance, having to balance it up in, as you know, in order to be able to go forward with something. The horses for me represent this energy of like, you know, if you go too far, if you go off track in one direction too far, you're going to lose your goal, you're going to lose your kind of destination, I would say. You know, it's the same for this energy as well. If you go too far, if you lean too far that way, so let's say left or right, you know, good or bad, or fun or seriousness, you know, it's kind of all those elements that are having to be brought together in order to kind of keep these two horses going on a path that's going to get you to where you want to go, your destination, which is, like I say, it's a fast energy here. So I feel that you've got kind of, you know, you're being held back and you're being kind of forced into a situation of having to look at things from a different perspective about your life and about your, you know, where you've got to in your life even as well with this card here. Again, the 9 here with the 9 of Swords, this is also saying that, you know, this is almost finished. A 9, the 10 is the next step, so the 9 is kind of like, you know, nearly reaching the end. But I will say, having this card here as well, it can seem like the end is kind of a long time coming when you're in these energies, these two especially, Aquarius. There's something about these cards coming out in a reading together that kind of says to me that this can be a long lasting, or feeling even that it's a long lasting energy. Especially if you want to move forward with something quickly and you're feeling that you can't. But it will change. It will change. And maybe you're having to take this time out so that when it does change, you are more balanced, you are together enough in order to be able to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, get to where you want to get to. And so, like I said, I did carry on with clarifying this reading yesterday, And so I'm going to show you the card that I got for it. Was the Ten of Earth, but it was in reverse. And the Ten of Earth, very similar to this card here, as in stability, achievement, and it came out over the top of these two energies here. So it's kind of the 10, you've got the page here and the 10. So I feel as though, you know, this is what it's about. It is about your achievement. It's about you kind of feeling blocked at the moment, feeling as though you can't get what you want, which is this kind of stableness. You may be feeling very insecure at the moment, Aquarius, and that's probably like, you know, that can be a bit of an understatement at the moment in time. This insecurity, which is very prevalent across the globe. But it's also saying to me, you know, re-evaluating possibly as well, you know, what it is that you value. Up until now, you know, it may have been very much to do with the material world and your achievements. But you may be being asked to reevaluate that and take another look and see, is, you know, ask yourself, is this enough? Does this feed my soul? Does this feed my heart? Does this make me happy as well? Is there, you know, do I get enough happiness from this? Because I look at this card and I see her as being, although she's got her dog here, she kind of always looks to me as though she's very alone. As though she's kind of looking, she's got her chest, her treasure here, and all of these around her here, but it kind of seems as though these are fading into the background somehow as well. If you see here, they're not kind of standing out, they're not kind of, it's almost like she's saying, you know, okay, so I've got all of this, but now what? Now what? And it's come out reverse as well, so there is a kind of stronger emphasis to me for that energy. So I'm going to see what the Two of Swords is saying and ask the cards why the Two of Swords is here today. And the Two of Swords is followed by the Three of Swords, which is interesting, because for me the Three of Swords, although it has an energy of kind of, I'm feeling today an energy of remorse about something. Yeah, a remorseful feeling, a kind of something that has been on your mind for a long time. It could even be sense of regret here as well. But also, because it's so kind of opaque and kind of see-through and translucent, this card, I kind of see it as being as something of the past as well. Something that in many ways is still affecting you, but in other ways it kind of, it's in the past, but you can't let go of it. It hasn't been fully kind of sent into the light somehow, I'm feeling. I don't know why I'm feeling that. Maybe again something to do with this energy here, this kind of sense of darkness, and as I was saying earlier, kind of light the candle. But there is something about this light here around her. I'm kind of trying to see the light. Focus on the light maybe, rather than focus on the... And I'm very drawn to this light today, rather than being drawn to this character here or this angel here. And this could relate to a relationship This could relate to somebody who's been in your life that you've lost. And there's something here that is kind of keeps calling you back. I'm feeling today kind of an energy that keeps calling you back. Aquarius. It could also be Aquarius cross watchers as well. But as I was saying, it's something to do with this 2 over the top of the 2 here. Of there being 2 sides to this story and being able to see both sides very clearly. And a decision, something needing to be made, a decision needing to be made. And also because I feel that these 2 are very closely linked as well, I don't know why today, but I do, that that when you do come to that decision, whatever that decision is going to be, it will be very fast movement forward. So maybe that's got something to do with you moving on from something that has been hanging around for a while. Kind of feels like a ghost from the past is kind of what I'm feeling. Something that shouldn't kind of be there any longer, but it is. And it's affecting the now, and it shouldn't be. If that makes any sense to you, any of you Aquarians out there, that's what I'm kind of picking up. Yeah, a sense of sadness, remorsefulness. I don't get regret so much, it's just more sadness and remorseful. So why is the 3 of Wands here for Aquarius? Why is the 3 of Wands here? What is this 3 of Wands, this risk, this energy of not knowing whether to take what's offered? Should you walk away from it? Should you take it? Was it the right thing to do if you have taken it? And we get the King of Cups in reverse. Fire and water, creativity and emotions. The thing about the King of Cups for me with this card is this sense of compassion. There's a real compassionate energy with this card. There's a real sense of feelings, and somehow I feel as though that is what's kind of been lacking from this situation. This sense of emotion. Trusting your emotions, maybe. It relates to the energies of water, Pisces, Scorpio and Cancerians, who are all very sensitive, all very intuitive, all very feeling energy people. A lot of the time they may not want to even admit that to themselves, let alone admit it to anybody else, because feelings can be seen as being something weak. So there could be an element of that coming through with this card today as well, of not wanting to appear weak over a situation, Aquarius. of this risk here, something about this risk and a weakness. Having to I'm kind of getting this energy, this kind of standoff energy here that's coming through now, this kind of standoff. Not wanting to get too involved in something. But this is an energy that's moving away. But I would also say that it's an energy that has been quite emotionally, it can be emotionally very overwhelming, particularly when it's in reverse. But at the same time, that kind of overwhelming emotional energy or emotional side can be kind of ignored, or it can be like you're refusing to feel it, you're refusing to allow yourself to feel that energy. Because like I just kind of getting this weakness from this today, because it would be seen as being weak. There's a need to feel kind of this need for not showing that emotional side. So what's under here? I just had a card fall on the floor. Sorry about that. Just pick it up here. We have the Magician, which has come out on top of the Nine of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. And the Magician is the card of manifestation, the card of bringing things into the physical realm, the card of making things happen. Again, I feel as though you're being kind of, you know, held back on this as well. It is the card of Mercury, the Magician. It is the kind of Gemini card, another air related card. Mercury relates to Gemini. And there's a wisdom that also kind of get a feeling, a similar kind of energy to this king here as well. If you look, there's a kind of similarity. He always reminds me of Santa Claus, this Magician. Kind of bringing gifts. The gift bringer. Who wants to manifest something into your life. But there is a connection between these two energies here today as well. Both kind of very watery as well. There's something about this kind of, this feeling as though it's the watery element being the kind of psychic, sensitive, intuitive realm. King of Cups in reverse and Magician, working with your subconscious realm, and this came out in the subconscious as well. This is kind of working with the Magician kind of works with the elements, pulling it all together and to bring it into the physical realm. But I feel as though something's missing somehow here. I feel as though there's something missing on an emotional level. So no matter how much you're trying to kind of manifest this, whatever this may be, this element here, this emotional input, if you like, which is what is another energy that is needed in order to be able to create. Usually the magician will be shown with all these tools around him, and kind of, you know, the wand of creativity, the cup of the emotions, which relates to this energy here, and the pentacle energy, as well as the sword energy of the mind as well. So it's like you need all of those elements to bring it into the physical realm. But I feel that somehow this energy, the emotional energy, is kind of being stopped or blocked. And again, I get the feeling of it being a weakness rather than it being seen as a strength and being used for your benefit, Aquarius. It's almost like you're, you know, it's like you've got to be strong, you've got to hold it together, you kind of can't show that side of yourself, you've got to kind of yeah, I just feel that you're kind of, and I'm not saying it's because you're not like that, but it's almost like you're kind of burying it somehow, burying it in your subconscious deeper down. So you're not actually allowing it to come out and be seen as well. There's also a similarity for me today as well, just before I carry on. If you see here with this King of Cups, he's got this little fish that's kind of, I feel sometimes as though he's kind of welcoming it in, and at other times I feel as though he's kind of releasing it and letting it go. But here you can see this tiny little figure down here, this kind of fairy that he's holding in his hands as well. His hands are down here for me, and he's kind of holding it in the palm of his hands, and he's kind of manifesting it. So there's something, again, there's something about these two energies which are connected but disconnected at the same time. There's a kind of disconnect between what you're trying to do and the emotions that you're not putting into it. Maybe there's a grieving or something as well. I don't know exactly, but there's a kind of, there's an emotional, I don't know if it's an emotional hang up or just an emotional kind of restriction. It's just this restriction. Maybe that has got something to do with Saturn moving into Aquarius energy as well, because that is all about that restricting energy, holding things back, kind of, I suppose in some ways feeling as though you have to be strong as well. Saturn's kind of a bit of a taskmaster. Doesn't like weakness, in fact. Now I come to think of it. You can't be weak around Saturn. It will not put up with any of that. It sees it as a weakness. Emotions and Saturn are kind of, yeah, not best of buddies. But I feel that there's something about this magician, this manifestation, whatever it is that you're hoping to or wanting to or trying to create in your life at this moment in time, it's being held back by something. And I think the Three of Air and the King of Water, King of Cups, is also part of that restriction as well, not allowing yourself to feel as much as you maybe should. Okay, I'm not taking those because they jumped down that way. There's too many of them, but I will take this card here, and we've got the Emperor come out over the top of the Chariot here. And the Emperor is about this strength. It is about strength. It's about finding your inner strength. but also about not overdoing it as well. Maybe also to do with the balance that's needed here as well, this kind of middle path that I was talking about earlier. Can also be quite Aryan energy, although I do tend to see it more as a Leo type energy, the Strength card. Purely because it is a lion, I suppose, and lions kind of have that inner strength. They're kind of power symbols, like the magnificence of them, and the kind of also the, you know, the royalty relationship with lions as well. Used a lot when it comes to royalty. And Leo does tend to have that kind of side to them as well. So maybe there is a Leo coming into your life that maybe is going to give you a bit of a power boost. And maybe they're also going to help you find that inner strength for yourself. But I'm feeling this kind of, the Emperor represents the energy of, again, kind of with this Magician. I know they're very different cards, but the Emperor also is very solid energy. It is about kind of bringing things into the realm of solid, stable, physical being. Success, achievement, power. There may also be something about feeling that overwhelm there as well, in the sense of what he's wearing. If you look at what he's wearing this really kind of heavy suit of armour. He's all armoured up. You know, he's just come off the battlefield as well. If you can see him here, he's just come off the battlefield. So he knows how to kind of look after himself, this Leo, or this Leo, this Strength card. If it isn't a Leo as such that's going to come into your life, it's going to be somebody who has this very strong kind of energy. It doesn't have to be in a personal relationship. This doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. But I do feel as though somebody is going to step forward into your life who is going to kind of help guide you in some way. Maybe also the Hermit has part to play with this as well. Like a teacher. Like this person may also be somebody who's going to help you go through that graduation process somehow. Or maybe once you've gone through that graduation process yourself, this person will turn up to kind of support you in that as well. Sometimes you find that when you go through something on your own, your energy shifts, and because your energy shifts, you kind of manifest something new into your life, or somebody new who is now resonating on the same wavelength and the same energy level as you are, which you haven't been up to that point. So there is a feeling of strength coming with this card. There is a feeling of an inner strength, of kind of a sense of, because this isn't so much about an outer thing as it is more about an inner strength. Somebody who's kind of strong, but they wear that strength rather than it being a kind of aggression. I don't think this is an aggression. I don't think this is a person who's kind of I don't think they're kind of backstabbing person who kind of will claw their way to the top. I don't get that kind of feeling from this card at all. Today I see this as more as somebody who's kind of battled through their own problems, and they've, you know, they're now wearing that. It's almost like it's a kind of demeanour that they have, and a kind of, they wear their inner strength from the inside out. But the Emperor, again, you know, with the weakness as well, the Emperor could never be seen as having a weakness. So there is a kind of sense of like, you know, this, maybe that's another reason where you kind of hold back on that emotional side, because Aquarius, you may feel as though it is a weakness when it actually is not. It's a strength. And I think that's also got something to do with this card here, and kind of going beyond this whatever this was, this past situation that is kind of your ghost that is still haunting you. And keeping you in this place of kind of fear and stress and worry. But it is going to change. It is going to change. I feel that somebody is going to come along, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a man, the Emperor. It can also represent a female energy as well, because women can have that inner strength just as easily as a man can. So it doesn't have to be that particular gender. That's not what this reading's about. It's not gender based. It's very much to do with the energy of the card rather than the actual gender that is represented on the cards. So I'm going to I'm going to pull you a moon oracle card and see what the wisdom of the moon has to say for you, Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. Moon wisdom cards. Which card would you like to give to Aquarius today? Aquarian, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. For anybody who's interested in getting a reading from me privately, my email is also in the description box down below. And cards just dived down here, so just retrieve it. Oh, brilliant. I think this came out for Capricorn as well the other day. Show the world the real you, which I think is very appropriate with this Strength card and this card here as well, and this feeling of you holding back, or feeling as though you're holding back, not manifesting. Show the world the real you, and it is literally full moon in Aquarius, so it couldn't be any more appropriate if it tried. There you go, Aquarius. Show the world the real you. The world wants to see you. Excellent card to end on. Although we do have this Namaste blessing card, which I find quite symbolic in the sense of it being, again, it's like a jewel. It's like reflection. It's like seeing yourself in the water here. So it's saying, let me quickly take my glasses off. Your feelings are surfacing in order to be healed. Have faith and know that you are safe. Trust the current waves of emotion shall become a sea of tranquility, full of love and blessings. I'm just going to quickly hold up these two cards, because I think that that's what this is all about. The healing. Have faith and know that you are safe. Trust the current waves of emotion shall become a sea of tranquility. I'm going to just hold that up for you, Aquarius, so that you can see for yourselves what it says, and then I'm not just making it up because it sounds good. So onto your Crystal Deva card, which was pulled yesterday. Authenticity. which is just so perfect. Sorry for laughing, but it just kind of makes so much sense for me here. Show the world the real you and authenticity. It's really, it couldn't be saying it any louder here, Aquarius. Like, you know, trust who you are. Who you are. Authenticity. Be who you are. In all parts of yourself. Really accept this side of you. Accept your emotional self that you kind of hold back from the world, I feel, Aquarius. So, what do we have here? We have the chakra being the thymus, and the colour is blue. And the thymus is the chakra between the throat and the heart, and its colour is more kind of turquoisey blue, I think. And again, it's to do with communication of the heart. It says, who are you? When asked this question, most of you describe yourself by either your gender, a role you play, or your profession. I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a computer programmer. Do you have an identity that transcends your relationships to others? Who are you beyond these limits, perimeters? If you want to know more, how can you find out? Self-discovery. Very interesting. There we go. Holds the answers to your individuality. That's why this card has come out. This is about self-discovery and graduation and you rising up a level. I just feel that so strongly, this graduation energy. Learning how you came to be who you are is critical to a happy, productive life. And maybe that's also what this is about here as well. Learning who you are, each of these being kind of achievement of growth, of looking back on the past and seeing how far you've come. And understanding your story as well, maybe. Countless numbers of you have resolved to revisit and deal with unfinished business from your past. The reason? To recover lost fragments of your lives without which you cannot be whole. Why were these life experiences left behind? Some may have been too painful to remember. Whether you experienced serious abuse or simply the thoughtless insensitivities of others, all of you have been wounded sometime in your life. And this is the card of deep wounding. This is the card of, often it's seen as the card of the third party, but I'm not so much picking that up today, I don't think, as it being more a ghost in your past, something that has kind of, you've carried with you, Aquarius, which is kind of affecting you now. It's kind of almost like this time is bringing it up into the forefront of your mind, into your head, and you're having to look at it in many ways. Whether you experience, sorry, I've just read that. As a protective device, your mind locked away incidents that were too debilitating to live with. Consequently, you have been denied access to valuable information that has shaped who you are. Again, I feel that this is quite relevant here. Emotional patterns and belief systems establish themselves early on. Significant events of the past hold the key to your emotional makeup, your behaviour and your motivations. As you observe yourself, you may notice that you routinely react to certain stimuli in a particular way. The reason for your reaction may be a mystery. Rediscovering your personal history can unlock the past, helping you recognise and change dysfunctional, unproductive behaviour and resolve old emotional issues. And the more I read that, the more I think that this card is kind of related to that, along with this card here. It takes great courage to face the memories of an emotional or physical trauma from the past. Just going to pick up the King of Cups here. Where am I? Emotional from the past. Okay. Your search for authenticity involves devoting the time, energy and emotion necessary to confront the truth. And again, I feel that this card, along with this card, is kind of very relevant here. It also demonstrates the respect you have for yourself. Once aware of the dynamics that influenced your development, you can work through and release them. You are not a prisoner of your past. Self-knowledge can set you free. Again. Become self-conscious. You heard us, we said self-conscious. Unfortunately, this phrase has taken on the negative meaning of being uncomfortable with yourself. In truth, self-consciousness provides the ultimate comfort. Authenticity brings peace, but how can you determine whether you are being authentic without first being self-aware? Currently, a phenomenon in human evolution is awakening a new chakra in the physical body. This emerging chakra is located between the throat and the heart chakras at the thymus. The catalyst for this physical manifestation is the spiritual breakthrough of the reclaiming of self. Our blue colour and energy are linked with the thymus chakra that is materialising. We are honoured to be part of this new development in human history. Why have you selected our card today? Have you been yearning to understand yourself better? The arrival of this new chakra symbolises a reacquaintance with yourself. Perhaps you have been unconsciously pretending you are someone you are not. Authenticity eliminates the need for deception. Imagine the image you present to the world is in part comprised of acted out expectations from your family, friends and other important people, and that could have something to do with this here as well. Other important people in your life. As you begin to rediscover yourself, you may find that you are not who you think you are. You may have lost part of yourself trying to be someone else for others. It could also have something to do with this. Life changes. People come and go. You and your significant other may part ways. Your children will grow up and move out. The only constancy in your life is that you will always be there. Build a personal identity for yourself that makes you happy, one based on authenticity and self-respect. The ancients said, know thyself. This guidance is as valuable today as it was long ago. Use all the tools available to find out who you are. Self-awareness is a starting point to reach the goal of self-realization. You cannot realize what you do not recognize. Uncovering and dissecting all those old buried memories is the hardest part of the process. Creating a new authentic life is easier. Eliminate anything that does not contribute to your abundance, joy, and peace. It sounds simplistic, because it is. You are the universe's bright star of hope. We applaud your integrity. So, Aquarius, Labradorite, you might want to get yourself a piece of this. And it's funny because I almost put Labradorite necklace on today, and I actually didn't, but I did think about it. even though I pulled this yesterday and I actually forgot that this was the card that was in here. So labradorite, you can find it quite easily. It's not overly expensive either, but it might be something that you do want to get yourself a piece of. As help, comfort, hold it, wear it, keep it about your person, take it to bed with you, put it under your pillow, take it in the shower with you, whatever you want to do with it. Keep it close to you. Because you may find, Aquarius, at this moment in time that it's going to help with your kind of thymus chakra that's developing, and also to help you move through this difficult time and kind of find your higher sense of being and purpose as well here. So I'm going to finish the reading there and say thank you very much for listening. I hope it has been of some help to you. If you've enjoyed my reading, please like it up, as I said earlier. Also, if you do feel it's been a benefit to you and you feel that it might be of a benefit to anybody else that you know, please share it, because that will also help get my messages out there as well into the bigger, wider world. And in this very, very difficult times that we're all going through at the moment, Aquarius, I'm going to wish you all the best. Say, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Take care.